So I've had the experience of being a practicing lawyer, then being on the bench, really on the front lines in a trial court setting, and then had the rare opportunity of having some time at the appellate level. I am concerned that there's an attempt to change a system that works extremely well for really no good reason. The harm would be an introduction to both money and politics in selecting judges. And when money and politics influence a judge's decision, I think justice flies out the door.
I think our current judicial system and how we pick our judges is great right now. I don't think anything needs to be done differently. In business, we learn that you don't fix what isn't broken. And I think one of the reasons why it works so well is that when we did our Constitution, we had the benefit of being one of the last states in the country, and we learned from all the other states. And so we have a really strong Constitution, and that's where I think the judicial laws were laid out and how we pick. And it needs to be fair. It needs to be fair for everybody. And I think that the system that we have set up now picks the very best and very brightest.
That's what I fear in a change in our judicial system and the way judges are selected, is a system that is imbalanced in selection, that is no longer about merit, but about who knows who, and an imbalanced system is more likely to fail. So we have created a fair and impartial system that makes a judiciary that really works for Alaska. And I'm grateful because the way that it's balanced and created now means that I don't have to think about it and I don't worry about it, and I can worry about the more immediate needs of the people who come to me for help.
This received a great deal of attention and discussion during the Constitutional Convention, and you know, those were good people. They were conservative, they were liberal, they were business people, all different backgrounds, and this was their considered decision in terms of how we should have a merit-based selection system. I'm at a loss to understand why the legislature would take up time in trying to amend our Constitution. I mean, that's not something that should be done lightly. And the concern is that it's simply going to politicize what is right now a very fair and impartial process.
I have the privilege of serving as the General Counsel for the Alaska Federation of Natives. We're the largest statewide Native organization in Alaska. Fairness and impartiality is a cornerstone of the judicial process. Coming from rural Alaska and being Alaska Native, the system ensures that the bush and the Native community has a voice in the judicial system. And that is through the election process. After the judge is appointed, the people then get to decide whether or not he or she has the correct judicial temperament to retain that position going forward.
Dated February 5, 1956.
Every article of the Constitution, every section, every sentence, every word was very thoroughly worked over. In my view, the judiciary has lived up to every objective, every goal, every dream of the delegates in terms of fashioning a system that is based on merit. We've had the most phenomenal judges and justices in our system, and it has worked extremely well.
I've had a fairly broad background, public, private, practicing as a lawyer, serving as a trial judge, and then for the last almost 15 years serving as an appeals court judge. And the last 3 years of those, I was the Chief Justice of the Alaska Supreme Court. So I feel I've got a fairly broad perspective on how the justice system works and what it takes to get people onto the bench who will do a good job for all of us.
This is the original printing of the Alaska Constitution.
Well, I think Alaskans were really blessed by the foresight and, frankly, the constitutional brilliance of our founders in 1955. It's really a brilliant system, I think. It's very well balanced, and it has proved to be the envy of the country, really.
We believe that the system worked. I believe it's the best in the nation. We've survived all those challenges. So I just think that the balance works, the Constitution works, and the process works. And you know, every 3 or 4 years there's someone who wants to push the envelope and say, I want it a different way, but that hasn't happened yet. And I hope it doesn't happen now.